Hey guys, it's Fumaya. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Either way, you are welcome. So today I wanted to come on and talk about a topic that so many of you have requested, and that is just your 20s, getting through your 20s, and the biggest lesson I learned through my 20s. So for me, my 20s really began at age 22. I know you turn 20 in undergrad, but I feel like your actual 20s start once you graduate undergrad. So that was when sort of this whole journey of self-discovery and self-determination really began for me. 22, I had just graduated Dartmouth. I actually had a lot of personal things happen my senior year of undergrad. And long story short, I graduated without a job. And so I was at home for about 6 or 7 months after I graduated, just living at home with not much to do. And that was honestly one of the most challenging parts of my life that I had had up until that point, because for years I had been this overachiever. Everything had gone smoothly. I had done well in high school, went to a great undergrad. I went to Dartmouth, had a great 4 years there, and then all of a sudden I was like starting from scratch. I had just broken things off with my then boyfriend of almost 3 years, and it was just a period where like everything felt so brand new. And I had no idea what was coming next. I had no idea how I'd even gotten to this point. I remember there were so many times where I would just lay in bed facing the wall with the lights off completely. It was sad, it was confusing, but it was also really frustrating because I didn't get why things were not working out. And at the time, I felt like a failure. I felt like things were always going to be that way. I'm the oldest and I'm a first-generation immigrant, so there wasn't really anyone in my family who could really relate to what I was going through. And so it just was a really hard time. And I'm telling you guys all of this because I know a lot of you are in your early 20s, or some of you are even in high school or college. And I just want you to come back to this video if you ever find yourself at a point in your life where you're so confused and so dejected and so down, because I've been there. And now looking at my life at 29, I'm 29 right now, I really just want to stress for you that things do get better. You just take it one day at a time. So a couple things happened during that 6 to 7 month period that were life-changing for me. The first thing is I made the decision to put myself out there and apply for the White House internship. This was during the Obama administration. I had followed Obama the entire duration of his presidency and his campaign. I was passionate about what he stood for, and so it was just a no-brainer. But the thing about it is I almost disqualified myself. I almost decided not to apply. I remember I had gotten the recommendations from my professors, and all those rejections from the other jobs just made me feel like there's no way I'm going to get this internship. It has an acceptance rate of less than 2%. I don't have anything astronomically amazing on my resume. I've never interned for a senator. I've never interned in Congress. Like, I have no government internship experience. I don't have any connections. I'm just a first-generation immigrant. I applied in September. And by that point, I had been home for at least 3 or 4 months, and without much to do, I decided to start my own blog. And I started my own blog that summer of 2013, and by August 2013 I had uploaded my first makeup tutorial to YouTube, and I called it Maha Maven. And when I started Maha Maven, when I started blogging and doing YouTube, it was still a really weird thing. It's not like now where everyone's trying to sort of crack into it. Back then it was a really weird idea to say like, oh, I'm on YouTube, or oh, I do social media. But I started filming the videos and I started editing them and posting them, and it just became like an escape for me. It became a way to express my creativity, and I just found a community on YouTube. I tell you that story to tell you this. A lot of the times in your 20s, it's really just a super confusing time. It's a time that challenges your identity. It's a time that challenges your self-worth and your abilities. And it's a time that makes you question like who you are, what you're good at, what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be. It's a time of just self-discovery that can be really exciting, but also very painful and very isolating because you feel very misunderstood. A lot of my friends had jobs lined up. A lot of them had plans for what they were doing next, and I just didn't. And I honestly didn't feel like I could talk to anyone about it because I didn't want to be the downer. I wanted to be happy for my friends. I wanted to be supportive, and I didn't want them to feel like they had to constantly build me up or make me feel better about things. And so if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this story, it's that the times where you feel like you're failing or not measuring up or by yourself or falling behind literally everyone you know, those can often be the times where you stumble on the greatest gift. You stumble on a passion that you never imagined that you would ever have. If I didn't have that 6 to 7 months where I was unemployed and at home with nothing to do, I never would have started a blog. I never would have found my love for beauty, and I never would have found my passion for giving advice and mentoring and helping people sort of find their own passion and find what sort of makes them come alive. If I had just gone the well-beaten path, I don't know that I would have had the courage to deviate. If there's one thing I can tell you that I learned from my 20s, it is the power of failing forward. And that just means the power of learning from your mistakes, learning from the things that don't go right, not internalizing it, but allowing it to sort of shape your decisions moving forward. There's a quote that I love so much, and it says, "Never let success get to your head and never let failure get to your heart." And my 20s is where I learned that lesson. Well, comparison is the thief of joy, and you are on your own path, you are living your own life, and you need to trust the timing of your life. Gary Vee said something that I loved so much, and he said, when you look at your friends, right, and you feel like maybe you're on the wrong path, or even if your friends and family try to make you feel like you're on the wrong path because you're not checking off the list of items in the order that they think you should be, remind yourself, like, I don't want what they want, so I don't care what they have. And that is a really powerful maxim to hold on to. Keep your eyes in front of you on what you're doing and what your goals are and the timeline of your life, and just trust that there is an order to all of that. Another thing you want to remember is that your mind has immeasurable power to define not only your experience, but also your perception and your vision. So you want to make sure that you are constantly doing the work to make your mind a positive and creative environment and not a self-destructive negative environment. For so many years in my early 20s, my mind was very negative. I could see the negative in any situation, no matter how good things were. I was always fixated on the things that could be better. And I am just now coming to the realization over the last year or so that if you are really unhappy, chronically unhappy with your life, the best place to start to address that is in your mind. And I will definitely do more videos on this topic about how to really train your mind to be positive and creative and productive, and how to really purge yourself of cyclical negative thoughts, because I think that step alone can be so powerful to just change the trajectory of your life. So that is it for this video. If you want me to go deeper, definitely let me know. Leave your requests in the comments. Comment below what you're going through in your 20s. What are you learning? What are you struggling with? I really want to hear from you guys, because I feel like I'm rounding out my 20s right now, just as some of you are just getting into it. And it'll be interesting to hear, like, if things are different, if challenges are different. I can't imagine being 22 or so with all the uncertainty that is around this. Let me know what's going on so I can start to plan videos on the topic. I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.